What if I told you that your dream vacation could hide a silent danger that strikes without warning, sometimes hours or even days after you've returned home? I'm Dr. Howard Tucker, and for decades as a longevity doctor, I've seen healthy, active seniors return from travel with a life-changing complication they never saw coming. It's not food poisoning, jet lag, or a bad fall. It's a blood clot, quietly forming during the very journey meant to bring joy. The good news? You can dramatically lower your risk without canceling a single trip. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how. Most people think of travel as an escape, freedom from routine, a chance to explore, reconnect, and see the world. But if you're over 60, there's a biological reality that long flights, bus rides, or even extended car trips can quietly set in motion. It's called deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, a blood clot that typically forms in the deep veins of your legs. Here's why it's a particular threat during travel. Your blood is designed to keep moving, pushed along by muscle contractions in your legs every time you walk, stretch, or even shift position. When you sit still for hours, like in a cramped airplane seat or on a tour bus, your leg muscles go quiet. That lack of movement slows circulation, allowing blood to pool in the veins. And when blood pools, it can clot. Most clots dissolve naturally, but if one grows large enough, it can break free and travel to your lungs, causing a pulmonary embolism, a medical emergency that can be fatal within minutes. What makes this risk so deceptive is that it often hides behind small, easily ignored symptoms. A little calf soreness, some swelling, mild warmth in one leg. Travelers chalk it up to walking more than usual, or the heat, or just getting older. I've seen patients who carried on with sightseeing, completely unaware that a dangerous clot was already forming. Age plays a big role in this risk. After 60, our veins lose some elasticity, blood flow naturally slows, and conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or even mild dehydration make clot formation more likely. Medications, especially hormone therapies, certain cancer drugs, and some blood pressure medicines can further increase risk. Add in travel-related dehydration from dry airplane air, too little water, and perhaps a glass or two of wine, and you've created the perfect environment for a clot to form. One case I'll never forget involved a 72-year-old woman who flew from New York to Rome for her dream retirement trip. She was healthy, active, and on no major medications. 3 days after arrival, she developed shortness of breath climbing the Spanish steps. She thought it was jet lag. By that evening, she was in an Italian hospital with a large pulmonary embolism. She survived, but the rest of her trip was spent recovering, not exploring. The good news is that this is not an inevitable risk of travel. You can enjoy every mile, every destination, and every adventure with simple, science-backed strategies that keep your blood moving and your veins clear. In a moment, I'll reveal exactly what to do before, during, and after your trip to lower your clot risk dramatically, without sacrificing comfort or the joy of travel. If there's one thing I want every senior traveler to understand, it's this. Preventing blood clots on the road isn't about doing something extreme. It's about small, deliberate actions you take while you're in motion, or more accurately, while you're stuck in place. The most important habit is movement, even when your space is tight. On a plane, train, or bus, aim to change your leg position every 20 to 30 minutes. You don't have to stand up every time, though that's ideal when possible. Even seated, you can pump your calves by lifting your heels while keeping your toes on the floor. then lifting your toes while your heels stay down. That simple flexing action squeezes the veins in your legs and propels blood upward toward your heart. If you are on a long-haul flight or a lengthy drive, schedule intentional movement. On planes, walk the aisle at least once every hour. On road trips, make rest stops part of your plan, not just to stretch your back, but to give your legs a real workout. A brisk 2-minute walk, a few gentle squats, or even standing calf raises by your seat can make a measurable difference in circulation. Hydration is another powerful, often overlooked tool. Your blood thickens slightly when you're dehydrated, and thick blood clots more easily. The low humidity inside airplane cabins speeds up fluid loss, so by the time you feel thirsty, your circulation may already be slowing. I advise sipping water steadily through your journey rather than gulping large amounts at once. Herbal teas are fine, but keep caffeinated drinks to a minimum. They act as mild diuretics. Alcohol is even worse for clot risk, because it both dehydrates and impairs your body's ability to regulate circulation. Clothing choices matter more than most travelers realize. Tight waistbands, restrictive pants, and snug socks that leave deep marks on your skin can all slow venous return from your legs. Instead, choose loose-fitting layers that keep you comfortable through temperature changes but don't constrict your lower body. If you have known circulation issues, varicose veins, or a previous clot, talk to your doctor about graduated compression stockings. These aren't the same as generic tight socks. Properly fitted compression garments gently squeeze the lower legs, helping blood move upward and preventing pooling in the calves. Temperature plays a subtle role as well. Cold cabins or over-air-conditioned buses can make your blood vessels constrict, slowing circulation. Keep a light blanket or shawl with you so you can stay warm without tensing your muscles for hours. When muscles are relaxed and warm, they pump blood more efficiently. And finally, think about your posture. Sitting with your legs crossed for hours compresses the veins behind your knees, creating a bottleneck for blood flow. Keep both feet flat on the floor or supported, and shift them frequently. If your seat is high enough that your feet dangle, use a small bag or footrest to keep your knees at a comfortable, open angle. I've had patients tell me they didn't think these small actions could really prevent something as serious as a clot. But the science is clear. Every contraction of your leg muscles, every sip of water, every position change keeps your circulation active. It's a game of momentum, and in travel, your goal is to keep your blood moving no matter how still the rest of you has to be. When most seniors think about trip preparation, they focus on packing bags, confirming tickets, or arranging medication schedules. Very few think about how the meals they eat before and during their journey can directly influence whether their blood stays fluid and moving or becomes sluggish and prone to clotting. Yet I've seen again and again in my practice that your food choices in the 24 hours around travel can quietly tip the scales toward safety or danger. Let's start with the day before you travel. This is when you want to lay the foundation for smooth, well-hydrated blood. Meals built around fresh vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbohydrates keep your blood sugar steady and inflammation low. Steady blood sugar matters more than most realize. Big sugar spikes cause insulin surges, which in turn activate platelets and make blood more likely to clot. It's one reason why I advise skipping the pre-travel pastry and coffee combination and opting instead for something like oatmeal with berries and walnuts, or scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado. Omega-3 fatty acids are one of your most powerful allies in clot prevention. Found in foods like wild salmon, sardines, walnuts, flax, and chia seeds, Omega-3s make your platelets less sticky, so they're less likely to clump together inappropriately. Having an omega-3 rich meal the night before travel, and again the morning of your trip, can measurably reduce clotting tendency for the next 24 hours. Hydration also starts before you board. Eating water-rich foods like cucumbers, melon, citrus, and leafy greens, along with drinking plain water, helps ensure your blood maintains the right viscosity. Think of it as fueling a river. You want it to flow freely, not trickle through mud. During travel, food choices are just as critical. Unfortunately, most airport and rest stop options are high in salt and low in nutrition, exactly the combination that can worsen clot risk. Excess sodium makes you retain fluid in the wrong places, increasing swelling in the legs, while paradoxically reducing overall circulation efficiency. Pair that with low potassium intake, and your vascular system becomes less capable of relaxing and keeping blood moving. Aim for travel snacks that are low in sodium, rich in potassium, and provide steady energy without spiking your blood sugar. A small bag of unsalted nuts, a banana, a piece of whole fruit, or a container of plain Greek yogurt can keep you satisfied and support circulation. If you bring your own food, pack a simple wrap with whole grain bread, turkey or chicken, leafy greens, and a light olive oil dressing, avoiding processed meats, which are high in sodium and nitrates that damage blood vessels. It's also important to consider what to avoid completely while in transit. Deep-fried foods, heavy creamy sauces, processed snacks, and sugary drinks all contribute to inflammation and sluggish circulation. Alcohol deserves special mention. It's dehydrating, dilates blood vessels temporarily, and can disrupt the natural muscle activity in your legs, which together make it easier for blood to pool. I recall a patient, a 68-year-old retired teacher, who prided herself on staying active and eating well, except on travel days. She would treat herself at the airport with a salty breakfast sandwich, chips, and a glass of wine to relax before boarding. After a 9-hour flight to Europe, she noticed unusual calf swelling, which turned out to be an early DVT. She recovered fully, but she told me later that if she had understood how much those treats worked against her circulation, she would have chosen differently. The truth is, travel food doesn't have to be bland or joyless to be clot safe. You can still enjoy flavorful meals. Just choose the ones that keep your blood flowing freely. That way, every step you take in your destination is powered by healthy circulation, not compromised by it. One of the most dangerous misconceptions about travel-related blood clots is that the risk disappears as soon as you stand up, stretch, and leave your seat. In reality, the first 48 hours after you arrive, whether it's at a hotel, a family member's home, or your own house, can be the period when clots are most likely to strike. I've seen this in patients who landed feeling fine, only to develop swelling, pain, or shortness of breath a day later. The clot had formed in transit, but the symptoms didn't show until circulation shifted after arrival. Your first priority after travel should be movement. Real movement, not just walking from the taxi to your hotel room. I tell my patients to aim for at least 15 to 20 minutes of continuous walking or light activity within a couple of hours of arrival. This reactivates the muscle pumps in your legs that have been dormant during travel, pushing pooled blood back toward your heart and lungs. If you're in a safe area, a brisk walk outside is ideal because fresh air and natural light also help reset your body clock, lowering inflammation and improving vascular tone. Hydration is just as important after you arrive as it is during the trip itself. It's easy to get distracted by sightseeing, unpacking, or meeting loved ones. but your veins need fluid to function well. I recommend starting with a tall glass of water immediately after settling in and continuing to sip regularly through the evening. Adding a pinch of mineral-rich sea salt and a squeeze of lemon can help replenish electrolytes lost through dry cabin air or long hours of travel. If you notice any leg swelling after arrival, don't ignore it. Prop your legs up so your feet are above heart level for 15 to 20 minutes. This encourages venous return and reduces pooling. For those with a history of circulation issues, wearing compression stockings for the rest of the day can provide an extra layer of protection. Gentle stretching also plays a major role in keeping blood flowing freely. Simple calf raises, ankle circles, and hamstring stretches can be done in your hotel room or guest bedroom without special equipment. If you feel up to it, a short session of light yoga or tai chi can combine movement, stretching, and deep breathing, all of which support healthy circulation. Meals in the first 24 hours after arrival should follow the same principles you used before and during your trip. Avoid large, heavy, salty meals that leave you sluggish and bloated. Instead, focus on lean proteins, colorful vegetables, and omega-3 rich foods like salmon or walnuts. These support vascular health and reduce inflammation. And while it may be tempting to toast your arrival with a drink, consider holding off or limiting alcohol until you've rehydrated fully and had a good night's sleep. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you notice unusual calf pain, swelling in one leg, redness, warmth, sudden shortness of breath, chest pain, or unexplained fatigue, seek medical attention immediately. These can be signs of a blood clot or pulmonary embolism. It's far better to be checked and reassured than to ignore a warning sign. I've had patients tell me that making these post-arrival habits part of their travel routine has not only made them feel safer, but also more energized to enjoy their trip from the very first day. You've made it to your destination. Now give your circulation the same care you gave your itinerary. If you love to travel, I want you to hear this clearly. Blood clot risk doesn't have to be the shadow that follows you on every trip. With the right plan, you can step onto that plane, train, or bus confident that you're protecting yourself from one of the most serious, yet preventable, travel dangers. And the key isn't one magic habit. It's a sequence of small, consistent actions that start days before you leave and continue until you're fully settled at your destination. Think of it like building a protective shield around your circulatory system. The first layer is preparation. At least 48 hours before travel, start hydrating more intentionally. Steady, moderate water intake helps condition your blood for the hours ahead. Eat meals that emphasize fresh produce, lean proteins, omega-3s, and whole grains while avoiding excess salt and sugar. This lowers inflammation, balances electrolytes, and ensures your platelets aren't primed to clot unnecessarily. The second layer is your in-transit strategy. What you do while you're seated for long periods. Every 20 to 30 minutes, adjust your leg position, flex your ankles, or, if possible, stand and walk. Wear loose-fitting clothing, and if you've had previous circulation problems or surgery, use medical-grade compression stockings. Keep sipping water regularly, limit caffeine, and avoid alcohol until you're back in a position to rehydrate fully. The third layer is post-arrival care, which is where many travelers drop their guard. Remember, the first 48 hours after you land or arrive at your destination are not safe territory yet. They're often when clots reveal themselves. Prioritize a short walk, light stretching, and water intake soon after checking in. Keep your meals clean and balanced, and resist the urge to overindulge in salty or fried foods right away. The final layer is habit integration, making these steps so routine that you don't have to think about them. I've worked with patients who now have their travel health kit ready at all times. A reusable water bottle, compression stockings, a small bag of unsalted nuts, and even a short checklist they glance over before every trip. They've told me this not only lowered their anxiety about travel, but actually made the journey more enjoyable because they felt in control of their health. Some also schedule their travel to naturally reduce risk, choosing flights with layovers that allow for walking, planning scenic driving routes with regular stops, or arriving at destinations a day earlier than needed so they can rest and recover before activities begin. This kind of pacing benefits your circulation as much as your energy levels. And here's something most people overlook. Your daily fitness habits between trips are your secret weapon. Strong leg muscles act like powerful pumps for your blood, and regular walking, light strength training, or even chair exercises at home make your veins far more resilient during periods of stillness. In other words, how you move when you're not traveling may be just as important as what you do on the journey itself. I've seen seniors in their 70s and 80s explore the world with full itineraries, long flights, and packed schedules, all without a single clot-related complication, because they followed these principles faithfully. They didn't let fear dictate their plans. Instead, they built a routine that allowed them to focus on the joy of the journey rather than the risk. Your goal isn't just to avoid danger. It's to protect your freedom to explore, to see family across the country, to visit new places you've dreamed about for years. Travel is one of life's greatest gifts, and with a consistent long-term plan, you can keep accepting that gift again and again, without fear riding along in the seat beside you. If there's one thing I want you to remember from all of this, it's that preventing travel-related blood clots isn't about luck. It's about preparation. Hydrate before you leave. Move often while you're in transit. Choose foods that protect your circulation. Stay alert for the first 2 days after you arrive. Do these consistently, and you'll not only slash your risk of a clot, you'll travel with the confidence that your health is as ready for the journey as your luggage is. Travel should expand your world, not shrink it through worry or preventable illness. Every choice you make, from the bottle of water you sip before boarding to the walk you take when you arrive, adds another layer of protection. These aren't sacrifices. They're investments in the freedom to keep exploring the world on your own terms. But while blood clots are one of the most serious threats seniors face on the road, they're not the only silent risk hiding in plain sight. In fact, there's another danger that can creep up just as quietly during travel, one that doesn't strike your legs or lungs, but your brain. It can blur your memory, disrupt your balance, and even trigger a medical emergency in the middle of your trip. And most seniors have no idea they're vulnerable to it. That's exactly what we'll uncover next, because knowing about this hidden brain risk could save your trip, and maybe even your life.